Hey everyone, welcome to the Color Brown podcast. I'm your host, Negra. Co-host is my husband, LA Eyekon. Before we start, you already know I got to give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey. Keep it hard, guys. Also, LA Kush, located on Sunset Boulevard. Make sure you guys use promo code Negra40 at the Sunset location for 40% off your first purchase only. On today's first episode, it's going to be about me. My husband's going to ask me questions that maybe one of you guys wanted to ask before, but basically it's going to be about me, my life story, not prison, just me. Things about me, things that I had to overcome, what I had to do to accomplish where I'm at now, how do I balance my life, what it is to be a mom, work, interviews.
Let's get it.
Things like that.
So look, my first question for you is technically your first generation here. So talk to us about how your parents got here and even how they met, if you know that.
Okay. So I'm first generation. My family's from Nayarit. I'm a Cora. Both of my parents are from Nayarit. Both of my parents are from a rancho called Rio Viejo. They've known each other since they were kids, obviously, because in the rancho, everybody knows each other. And my mom and dad came when they were like 18 years old.
Together or separate or?
Well, my dad's family, my parents are from Rio Viejo, Nayarit. Everybody, both sides, right? And but my dad's like sisters and my dad's sisters and mom and dad would come to Tecate, which is Baja California, Tecate. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but I'm sure you guys have. And so my dad would always come and work there. So one of those times, they were already like boyfriend and girlfriend. And so my mom came and they just crossed the border.
I thought your mom used your cousin.
Oh, yeah, you're right, babe. So I don't want to, what if I incriminate my aunt?
It is what it is. We don't got to say their names.
So yeah, my aunt crossed my mom with her oldest daughter's papers because they're only like a few years old. Like they're maybe like 2-3 years difference. So that's how my mom crossed. But my dad had his little visa or paper, pasaporte or whatever. And then they just moved to, they lived in my aunt's for a little bit until they got their own place, which was, I was 18. They were 18 years old. I think she got pregnant once she was down here. She didn't come pregnant from Mexico. She got pregnant here. They did get married. And, yeah, they were 18 years old.
Eventually, at one point or another, your mother and father divorced.
Yes.
And he went back to Mexico, I guess, and started another family.
Technically, no. My parents got divorced when I was like 7-8 years old. My dad never moved back to Mexico. My mom moved in with the guy. And then my dad had like different girlfriends, but I was always with my dad. I always wanted to go with my dad. Every weekend he would pick us up. My dad wasn't really stable like that. He would just rent rooms at my aunt's house. And, but he was just like my dad is very handsome, just so you guys know. I look like my dad. No offense to my mom, but I look just like my dad with the dimples and everything, guys. I would always go with my dad. So then he had lots of girlfriends. We would meet all the girlfriends too until he met this one particular one when I was 10 years old, and she lived so she's my dad's godfather's daughter. So she lived in Rosarito, and then we would start going to Rosarito every weekend. And they've been together since I was 10 years old, and they're still together. My dad doesn't live in Rosarito. He used to cross the border every weekend for all these years, like literally probably over 20 years. He would cross the border, drive every weekend, until like now still, he had my sister. I have a sister and a brother that were both born. Well, my sister was born in Rosarito, but my brother was born in Indio. But my brother is 22, and my sister's 30, and my dad still crosses the border every weekend, but now it's just closer. Now, he is retired, so he just goes from Thursday to Monday. But now he lives in San Isidro or Chula Vista, so now it just takes him about 15 minutes to go over.
What I'm saying is when he started that other family with Domi, how'd that make you feel?
You know what? I liked her. At first I liked her, and then I didn't like her. I was hurt once he had the daughter.
So you were cool with the lady until she got pregnant?
Yes, because I was my dad's road dog. Like, I was my dad's everything until this little girl came. Like, I didn't like my little sister. Good thing 'cause she doesn't understand English. Nah, but I love my sister. I didn't like her. I wasn't happy. I would fight with my, I stopped going. Obviously, that's what once I stopped going to my dad's, life started changing for me as well. I didn't want to go to my dad's house anymore. I would start to go out. My mom started letting me go out. Hey, that's where I guess maybe that's what happened to me. I'm gonna blame it on my dad. No, I'm just kidding. But I stopped going to my dad's once my sister was maybe 1 year old or something like that. Cause I got tired of, we would just go there. Obviously that's his family. So he had his own house out there as well. So,
The one we go to.
Which, yeah, it's where we go. My dad still lives there, obviously. So yeah, I wasn't too happy with it once he started having, once he had the baby, once he had a daughter. Because once he had his son, they lived in Pomona. I love my little brother, and he was 1.5 when I got pregnant. And so I got sober at my dad's house. Like, I kicked the meth, He would buy me milk. He said he says that I would have these nightmares. I mean, I don't remember, right? But, they were there for me when I was kicking, while I was pregnant. Well, first found that I was pregnant,
Fire. Do you think it's common, for a first generation Mexican man to have two families, here and there, if they break up with their original family?
Yes. I honestly feel like that's super normal that they find a person that's from their rancho or Mexico and they provide for them, and that's how they live. I know a lot of men that are like that. Even my uncle, he got a divorce, he was running around wild, and then now he finally got married and he's back and forth too. So I think it is probably pretty normal.
All right.
Maybe not to have two families, but
Well, let's take it all the way back to the beginning then. We know you grew up in Northeast LA. What are some of the things you remember growing up there?
Basically growing up in the Northeast, I should say Glassell Park area, everybody kind of was related. I wasn't related to anybody, but most of my friends, family, everybody was kind of related. And I also remember, let's just say my high school days, I would walk everywhere. We would let's just say I'm in Glassell Park and we wanted to go to Figueroa, which is honestly pretty far. We would walk. We would take the bus. I'm not sure if kids really do that stuff still, but we would take the bus. And even to my younger days, we would all walk to the park together. During the summer, we would go to the pool. We would play outside. It was just, I guess we didn't have electronics. So basically it was just us being outside, playing with our neighbors, literally, because we lived in apartments. Everybody lived in apartments. So we would walk to school together, come home together, play outside together. They would have carnivals and we would go together as well. My mom was always working. She worked, and it was just myself and my sister. So that's why it was really growing up. She would leave us lunch, so she would get home it just depends on the day or whatever. But that's how it really was. I had a lot of love from friends and their families. Nothing was too crazy whatsoever. Everything was pretty much normal to our environment, I should say. Um, I that's really much about it. It was really just fun.
What made you want to join a gang?
I always wanted to be a gang member ever since I could remember.
Why?
Well, growing up in the late 80s, watching my cousins be from a gang and then moving to Glassell Park in the fourth grade. I don't know how old I was, but whatever. I was in the fourth grade and just watching everybody outside. I just thought it was so cool. I thought it was so cool. I loved the way they looked. I didn't obviously know what came with it, I only knew that everybody would just hang out outside. So,
So, what was it like being one of the few females from your gang?
well, there's actually there's a lot of girls. They're older though. And when it was my time, there was really no girls at all that could be like, I'm from Avenues. Really, my days, none. I mean, they were the other girls, I should say, the other women were around, but not on my block. I never even saw them. There was probably like one or two that would come, and I knew them. But technically, I was the only girl. I was just I was just one of the guys. I didn't never make, they never, my homeboys never made me feel like, oh, I was just a girl.
So, outside of the gangster stuff, as a teenager, what did you do for fun?
I, well, I was from a party crew. But keep in mind, like, my gang member friends are my actual normal friends. So, and not even just that, like, I hung out with older people. So when I was 13 years old, I would go out with my older friends to like house parties, and the crews were like Latin Cuties, LIC, Rebel Alliance, and this was when I was just 13, 14 years old. I didn't even really I didn't even really smoke weed yet. This is when I first started. I would drink, because I was around the girls or whatever, and I would go to all these house parties. And my name was Baby. They would call me Baby because obviously I was the younger one. Now looking back, technically they're not even that much older than me, but obviously when they're 16, 17, and I'm 13, 14, it felt like I was really young. So I would just party. I never really had like I don't know what fun was besides going out to like partying wise, as far as like going to house parties, backyard boogies, sweet Sundays, things like that, which is like the barbecues on Sunday. So as a kid, that was kind of like the only fun I knew, because that's what I chose. And obviously my homies will party with us too, depending on the area, obviously. But I didn't really have like a childhood where it's like, oh, what did you do as a teenager? Like, that's what I did as a teenager.
So then you didn't have a typical go to the movies with your parents, go to the park or some corny shit. I don't know.
No, not really whatsoever. The most I would do is probably go with my sister will have like drill team practice or like things like that, and we would go to her things. Or my mom was married to this man, and he would go. They would take trips, and I would go with them here and there, like to Vegas, San Francisco, whatever it was. But not really. I mean, I would go to the movies on Thursdays because in Eagle Rock on Thursdays it was like $1 movies, and everybody would go. Like literally everybody, like all the homies. It was like a thing on Thursday. So, but did I go and watch the movies? No, everybody just hung out outside, like where the popcorn stuff or whatever. But I didn't really have like one of those type of teenage things.
And did your sister ever want to hang around with you guys?
My sister never, and I will never let anybody like try to be with my sister, date my sister, even though my sister's 5 years younger than me, so she was way younger. But no, not at all. Some of my younger homies were in school with her, like from elementary to high school. So no, no one ever even tried, to be honest. They would just kind of like say, "I'm so with your sister, fool." Like, nah, just to mess with me. But technically, no, not really, at all. That's not her shit. She doesn't like that.
So, for some people that know your story, you've admitted to using drugs. How did it first start?
Okay, well, like I said, I first started with obviously everybody always starts with smoking weed. First with the cigarettes, and obviously you get all lightheaded, and then I started with the weed. And I don't even remember. I remember like I first time I smoked, I didn't even get stoned. Um, the first time I got stoned, it was like out of those one of those gravity bongs. You know those gravity bongs with the water gallon, and it's like a water thing, and you just put the gallon in there. It was like one of those, and I remember I was with this guy. I wasn't with him, but he was from Rebel Alliance, and we were having like a little kickback. And I was throwing up. We were drinking boonies. Do you remember the boonies?
Yep.
We were drinking boonies, and I smoked, and then I couldn't even walk. They had to drop me off at my friend's house because my friend and her sister had an apartment on Aldama. We used to party hard there, and I was still young. So so whatever. So you start with the cigarettes, obviously drinking cigarettes, weed, and then primos. Smoking primos. That I started with the guys, which with my homeboys, we would get out of school and then we would just smoke. Obviously, that's what we would do. I didn't start doing meth until I was like, I think I was in Franklin, or was it I was in Franklin, or yeah, I was in Franklin because I only went to Eagle Rock for 1 year. I was in Franklin High School, and I was already from this other party crew. It was called Midnight Pleasures. And I remember the first day, actually, I remember the first day we were at one of those backyard barbecues on a Sunday or whatever. And we were hitting the NOS. And then they were like, hey, you want to go inside the house? And it was with these two girls that I still talk to, you know. They already used. I never used yet. And it was like this butter kind. It was like brown. And I did a line, and then I didn't even go home that day, which is like, you know, I mean, I would always go home. My mama was already used to me not coming home kind of things. And because I was always just wanting to be out. I never wanted to be home, obviously, because I always wanted to be doing some stupid shit. And I don't mean stupid shit, but always like partying, like drinking and hanging out. Never like, you know, I'm hanging out just because we're going to watch a movie. No, it's always because we're always want to be around. And, yeah, basically that's just how I started. And then ever since I started doing that, it was just like every day I was doing different types of drugs, like coke, partying with different, you know, just partying with different people. Not, it was always the girls, like my same little friends, but you know, trying to party with different people here, there, everywhere. We take the bus everywhere just so we wouldn't go to school. My mom would drop me off in the front. I would come back out like just a mess. But I never stopped using meth. I would use it every single time that I was there. I never went to school. I always ditched. And that's how it was. I never not used drugs.
Was there ever a time when you thought like it was getting out of hand?
I honestly didn't think it was getting out of hand until I was older, because I used it just for fun. Like, it's like, to me, obviously when you first start, like, it's not like you feel like you're addicted. You're just doing it because it's fun. I didn't do it to cover up depression. I didn't do it because I was unhappy. I didn't do it for any of those. I did it because it was fun, and fun turned into the addiction.
Aside from when you were pregnant and when you were incarcerated, did you ever stop using?
There was maybe about 2 times where I did stop using, and it's not because I wanted to. It was mainly because I had to. I went to rehab for courts. They didn't ask me to go to court yet. Like, the courts didn't never ask me, but I did it for my son.
Got it.
And I didn't, like, not when I was a teenager. I didn't stop till, you know, I didn't start doing and having these major issues until after I had my son, because obviously I was already doing extremely bad from having all those years of use.
How long after your pregnancy did you start using again?
Honestly, so I had my son at 20, And I remember, obviously, me and his father were living in Hollywood, and something happened. What was it? We were living in Hollywood. I think he was only, honestly, like 2.5, 3 months after I started using again.
Was it for any particular reason?
I don't think so. I wasn't going through anything. Obviously, maybe it was like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I started using, and then we had to move to Vegas from one day to another. I think it was from like that little period of time. Like he was born, something happened, I got high, and we had to move.
And then when you moved to Vegas, did you continue using there?
I never stopped after that. It just got worse. I moved to Vegas. I started going to medical assisting school. I did finish medical assisting school, but throughout that process of me, being in Vegas, I still got high like a lot every day. I don't even know how I went past. I don't even know how I did it, but I did it. And I would come once a month to LA, and I would stay like the weekend, and then I would stay a month, like a week. Or
were you hiding it from your ex, or did he know? Did you guys do it together?
No, I don't think we got high together. I mean, before we had the baby, we would get high. But we would smoke Primos. After that, I would hide it. I think I did hide it for a minute. I never did meth with him, I believe.
And
that I remember.
Did he ever trip on you for doing it?
Yes. But by then, like, it was all bad. Like, there was no way you're going to tell me, like, I moved back. It was just very chaotic. I left him. I came home. I came back to my mom's. Then he followed me. He asked me to marry him. And I would leave and go with my ex. It was just a mess until it was just like, that's it. We couldn't do it. It was unhealthy. And that's where we left it.
Had you never gotten locked up, do you think you would ever quit using?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. That's why I always say that I am so grateful for the fact that I went to prison, because what if I would have never stopped, because I was never taken away from the streets for that long.
Got it. How hard is it for you to stay clean now?
It's not hard at all. I don't. One of the main reasons, I mean, not one of the main reasons, but like, I don't want to, I don't have the urge. Don't get me wrong. There's times that I wake up and I have the taste in my mouth, which is like so weird, because obviously I smoked it. And it's like, it's like bad, when I wake up like that. I'll have a dream here and there, but for me to say, I want to get high on meth. Oh, no. God forbid. No, I don't whatsoever. I don't want to hurt my kids. I don't want to hurt my family, but mainly I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to lose myself again, because if I lose myself, I lose everything that I've worked so hard to accomplish. And I don't even necessarily mean like my podcast or like my business. Like, I just mean me, the relationship I have with my kids. I don't want to hurt them.
Got it. During your teenage years, did you have any thoughts of like the future? Like did you ever have a dream job kind of thing?
Honestly, I never had a dream job. As a teenager, I know it might be crazy, you guys, but I always knew I was going to go to prison. I don't know why. I guess the path I was on, always kind of like thought about it. But I never really had like a dream job. I still don't have a freaking dream job. I just do what I do. And it's like, now I feel like this is like good. This is like a dream job where I could just come sit down and have a conversation with the person and, put it on YouTube, and it helps me pay my bills. So, I mean, I'm able to pick up my son. I'm able to drop off my son. I'm able to spend time at home. I'm able to get up and leave when I want. Like, what else can I ask for? And it's funny that you say that, because, my mom asked me, she's like, when you get older, like, or whatever, like, I'm already older, right? I'm going to be 42 this year. Are you planning on getting a regular job? So then I said, what? No. Oprah Winfrey never stopped interviewing people. Ellen is way older and she still interviews people. So, and then she said, that's true. So this is my dream job that I'm doing now.
Do you think? How do you think getting pregnant affected your life when you did get pregnant?
My first with my
Your
oldest.
first, yeah.
Um, I don't know if it affected my life. I have definitely hurt him. I maybe that 1 year that I stopped kind of made me. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it affected me. It was not okay after me having him of me using. Don't do that, Valentino. Just sit down. Just sit down.
Cupid, sit down. Um, so how much was your son exposed to the gangster lifestyle? Like, were the homies around him? Was he like, were they having him throw up little gang signs thinking it was
No, you know
cute,
what?
or was he completely sheltered, or how'd that go?
I try to do my best. Obviously, he was around the guys. I would go to the park. We would go to the block. I never smoked in front of him. Never. I would, even if I was going to smoke weed, I would go outside the house, like front door. Didn't smoke inside my house. I never had my son dirty. I definitely did not allow him to throw no gang signs or anything like that. I didn't like that. I still don't like that. I think that's like a no for me. But yeah, the guys would come over, but we weren't like doing nothing major, you know?
That's fine. And how do you think the pregnancy with our son affected your life?
I feel that it was honestly the best thing having him at 37 years old, because prior to him, I was still drinking every day. I would get home and I would from work and I would drink every day. Like I still got up and left whenever I wanted to. Like I feel like I didn't really start to get my life together, even though my life was together, because obviously I was married, I have a job. But I mean, I just like more like I can't explain it. I feel like he made me get better.
Do you think we expose Cupid to a different sort of negative lifestyle by the rapping and all the podcasting and shit like
I
that?
do. In a form, I don't think there's a difference, which is bad right now that I just thought about that. I don't feel like he probably gets exposed more just to listening to you talk on podcasts or like listening to what we do more than what my son actually got exposed when I was an extreme drug addict.
Is that true or what?
Right now that I think about it, yeah. I guess because I would feel more sus. I would feel more sus. I feel like obviously I wasn't in the right place mentally. I feel like I had to watch myself a little bit more. Now I'm like, I'm sober. I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't do anything, that I shouldn't be doing. So it's like, he's going to be okay. That's why even sometimes, even when I hear you talking and I'm like, hey, stop talking like that. Like he listens to everything.
I feel it. Do obviously your gangster and criminal portion of your life has been well documented. Was there ever a time during all of this when you thought to yourself you got to change outside of prison, or before it rather?
Well, right before I got indicted, I knew I was bad. I knew I was doing bad within myself. I just couldn't stop. Like I literally couldn't stop. I feel that I'm exactly the same person that I was before. I'm just not on drugs anymore. I still think the same. I still want to do the same things, except that I mean, not like want to do the same. Like I don't want to use drugs. That's out of the picture. I just mean like the way I think, I'm still the same way. The way I speak, the way I move, what I do, it's kind of still the same. I'm just not on drugs anymore. And I know that if I do this is going to happen. So I don't want to do that. If I do this, this is gonna be good. So I do want to do that, but I guess the only reason I feel that way now is because I'm in my right mind, so I know right from wrong. Even though I knew right from wrong before, it's just completely different when you're under the influence of meth.
I get it. Do you have any regrets?
No, not really. I feel like I lived my best life, but my life is so much better now. Just the fact that you're not on drugs makes everything so much different, so much better. You're not so chaotic, even though I feel chaotic all the time in my head, like so much shit is going on, I can't handle it, but it's like, well, it's life. I can't handle my own life, then something has to change. If you can't handle your own life, if I can't handle my own life, something is wrong within myself.
I got it. When you got out of prison, you got out of federal prison, you went to Miami to be with your mother and son. What was the culture difference between our Latino culture and like here and their Latino culture over there?
It's completely different. Completely different. And I mean that, I don't want to sound racist, guys, but it's like over there's kind of us, we're like Mexicans, Latinos, we have like our, we listen to the Spanish music. Over there they do too, but it just seems kind of like more blackish. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Like they don't listen to oldies. They don't listen. Obviously, they listen to their merengue, their reggaeton, their salsa, bachata, and it's all Spanish and they're all Latinos. But it's just, I can't explain it. It's just completely different when it should be completely different. East, it's the East, the West, the Mexicans, Latinos are out here. It's just a completely different style.
Did you get treated differently by them for being Mexican?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, everybody kind of likes me. I feel like everybody likes me. Well, basically, either you like me or you don't. There's like no in between. And most of the time, if you don't like me, it's because you have a problem, not because I did something But nah, honestly, not really, because Cubans and Dominicans are very aggressive people. So it's not like, oh, I'm this aggressive person. We're just very straight up with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're very hood kind of thing, naturally.
So what was your kind of favorite Latino that was over there then, aside from a Mexican person?
I didn't really find Mexican people out there at all. Mm-hmm. And if I did, they looked like Cubans or Puerto Ricans with dreadlocks kind of vibes.
So who'd you like better, the Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans?
Cupid. I mean, I like them all. I don't really have a preference. My friends were Cubans. Most of my friends were Cubans. I had a Dominican boyfriend. His cousins were super nice. I was able to relate to Cubans, and I feel like I'm able to relate more to Dominicans than to Cubans, because I feel like Cubans are more stuck up. Like they have their heads more far up their ass. No offense, mi cubano coños, but this is how I was. That's how I felt. You know?
And how did you feel? Because eventually you had to come home. What was it like dating me long distance?
Well, it wasn't really that long. You would come once a month. I don't know. It wasn't so bad for me. We would just like on video chat 24/7. That was pretty new to me. I was being on the phone literally 24/7, sleeping right there, eating right there. I guess I really didn't feel the long distance relationships until I took my first trip back here, and I had to leave. So I didn't feel what you used to go through every time you would leave Miami.
And how did that feel going back and forth like that?
Honestly, it was like super dramatic. Like it was like so deep, and like I guess like that's when I felt like, oh shit, I like really am in love with this man.
Fire. So obviously we were dating and it came to the point where I told you I wasn't going to live in Miami. What made you decide to say that you'd move back with me to Los Angeles?
Well, you basically give me a choice. Like, I'm either going to move back or it's not going to work. Obviously, I have my mom, my whole family out here. So I haven't, I wanted to move back home. I wasn't able to move back because I was on probation, on federal probation. So you made it easy for me to come back home.
So, how hard was it for you to move in with a man and your son, your young teenage son? Was he a teenager or was he like 12?
I think he was 12. No,
12 or 13 or
12
something?
or 13. I think he turned 13 here. How hard was it for me? For me, it wasn't hard.
How hard do you think it was for Marlon?
It was extremely hard. He hated the fact that he moved back home. He hated it. Like, he was so unhappy. Obviously, when he was around my mom and my sister, like, it was like all good. But other than that, he hated his first 2 years here back home. For me, it was great, coming home to a full furnished home. My son had a brand new bedroom set. We had a brand new bedroom set. We had brand new everything, down to his lotion, to my shampoo, everything. And I mean, what else could I ask for?
What did he say about me during those first 2 years? That fool hated me too, or what?
He still hates you. Not just kidding. Nah, no, I don't think I just think he was just unhappy with the fact that he had to move.
Makes sense.
Now I feel like he's, you guys are good. Obviously you guys go back and forth here and there, which is pretty normal. You tell him that something that you don't like, something that he does. Of course, it's like father and son. He definitely confides in you more than he confides in me with certain things. He has his friends here. We've obviously been here for almost 9 years. So he's good, now.
So when you first got back, did you have any thoughts of going back to the block or chilling or returning to that sort of lifestyle?
Well, I still always want to go to the block. That's not something that ever goes away. I always love when I have a reason to go down there. But like returning to like, oh, let me just go post up and like go and hit fools up and go right on the wall. No, definitely not. That time for me is past. But do I want to go to the block? Oh, every day. Is it the same? No.
I'm not sure how successful you thought I was or wasn't, but what is it like for you being exposed to the music industry stuff that you see, and what do you think about it?
I mean, now, when I first came, I thought it was like cool, like, oh shit, he does this. But after I got the feel and I got to see and I got to hear, like, it ain't nothing. It's nothing to me anymore. Like, it basically, like, some of these guys that are big rappers in LA, they are your close friends. They're my friends. They, obviously they're your friends. They're my friends because they're your friends. It's nothing. It's just, honestly, it was dramatic. Now it's annoying. So much drama within each other. Obviously it's cool. I've every single time I've gone to an event, it's always stage. I'm always on the stage. You don't let me be in the crowd. I've never not been able to be on the stage because of what you do. You've always been around it. It's cool. People know me, and I feel like that's kind of what helped me get prepared. So all of this years of me being with you, being in this music industry with you, hearing everything, watching everything was helped me deal with in the place I am now.
What's that?
Meaning, like, having all these followers, like, I don't feel like I have my head up my ass like a lot of these rappers do. No offense, guys. I feel like I'm very friendly. I feel I'm just a normal. I feel like I'm just. I mean, I am a normal ass person. There's nothing new in my life besides me having a larger platform.
You have a business of your own, the LA Tooth Fairy. What made you want to do tooth gems and whitening instead of something else?
Okay, so I started with my tooth gems because I seen a girl. She was a friend of mine. Oh, she's still my friend. She had tooth gems, and I liked them. And told her, "Hey, take me to go get them." So she took me, and since then, remember, I would always go to all of these events with you. I would do all these pop-ups with you with the brown side. I would go to these shows, and I'm very friendly. I'm very talkative. And people would always ask me, "Hey, where did you get those from? Where did you get those from?" So I had a little extra money, and I said, "You know what? I'm gonna do tooth gems." So I started doing tooth gems. I felt like I took a, it's a good thing that you had this platform and you knew all these people. And a lot of them did share my page when I first started the LA Tooth Fairy. Um, and that's what kind of made my page kind of grow a little bit. I used your platform to my advantage, as we should, right? I mean, obviously not like that. Like these fools didn't make me, because obviously not like that. But
Definitely like that.
oh God, he had to say that. But I met all these popular girls, all these just girls. Anyway, so I started doing the two gems, and then COVID happened. I started doing the two gems September. COVID was 2020?
I don't know. 19 probably, no?
No, he was born 19.
Cupid, lower that.
I started doing two gems August or September of 2020. COVID happened. August of 2019 is when I started doing two gems. And then COVID happened like February or March of 2020. And I had to stop for a little bit. Keep in mind, I have a job. I'm working for this company still. So I would just do it, here and there, whenever I was able to get clients. So COVID happened, and I had to stop for a little bit. And then I got terminated from my job. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? Like,
Weren't you already doing them?
Well, I was doing tooth gems, and I wasn't doing teeth whitening.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I going to do? Like, not everybody wants to get tooth gems. So I was like, you know what? I am going to do teeth whitening. So I started doing the teeth whitening, and I've been doing the teeth whitening since 2020.
Makes sense. So...
And I'm still doing it, you guys. So make sure you guys book your teeth whitening on your tooth gems.
For the people that don't know how Indicted started, what was that like for you?
Obviously, it's only going to be a year. It's going to be 2 years in August as well. Maybe August is my month or something, right? It's going to be 2 years in August that we started Indicted TV. I had no idea that we were going to do this. It was just literally from one day to another. Like my husband said, hey, we're going to film you. You're going to say your story. And we're going to put prison clothes in the background. And I'm like, well, okay, whatever. I'm going to do it. So as soon as he said that, the next day we filmed my episode and it went up.
But like mentally, what were you thinking as all of this is happening? Why?
I just did what we did. I wasn't thinking. You asked me the questions. I just answer them. And I don't know. I really wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking anything. I just, fuck it, let's do it and vámonos.
What do you think about where it is now?
I didn't think it was going to be where it's at now at all. I'm super grateful that it worked, guys. It worked. It's like, I haven't not stopped dropping an episode. Let me rephrase that. We've dropped an episode every Sunday for the past year and a half. We have not missed a Sunday. And honestly, sometimes.
Is that true?
Yep.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
That's true. Honestly, there's times where I don't want to do it. There's times where I just like, and it's just because sometimes it just comes with that little bullshit. Like, I'll I'll read comments or just like stupid little things where people like, oh, why is she doing that? And things like that. But then I just have to like self-talk, like, no, like I'm going to continue to do this because it's working for me. It's helping. It helps other people. And believe it or not, it's helped a lot of people with their relationships, with their family members. It's therapeutic for me. I always say that. And sometimes I just don't want to do it because I just don't want to get ready, to be honest. But I'm like, I have to self-talk and I tell myself like, okay, Cristina, ¿qué te cuesta una hora, 2 horas max? Get ready, get up and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess that's just the way it is when it's already your job.
How does being a pretty face and being a public figure affect your relationship?
I don't. It doesn't affect our relationship whatsoever. At least I don't think it does because you were the one that put me out here. So I'm sure you knew what you were getting yourself into. How do you feel when you read comments or when you're like, hey, when you read the comments, oh, Negra's bad, hey, marry me, leave Eyekon, things like that.
I don't really think anything about it. I think sometimes I like it.
What? What? Why?
No, I mean like I physically push the like button or the heart or whatever it is.
Okay.
Just to be a dick. I got so much going on. I don't really have time to dwell on that particular aspect of all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm not really tripping. What made you want to start The Color Brown, and what are your expectations on this new platform that we got here?
Again, guys, it's not me. It's my husband with these ideas. And once he gets an idea, he won't stop until he gets to do whatever he needs to do. And obviously, I think he realized that I'm the moneymaker. That people want to watch me. And I'm not saying it in a weird way or anything, but like, I guess I am funny. People like to watch me. People, like the way I am. I love the way I am. What was the last question? What are my goals?
What are your expectations?
I don't know.
Obviously, I'm the goal setter here.
I don't know, honestly. I'm just doing what I'm doing. My expectations I live day by day. Some people are like, what are your goals? I don't have any goals. I just want to make sure my kids are healthy. I'm able to pay my bills for the rest of my life and be okay in life. Before I used to set goals and I never accomplished them. So right now I always live one day at a time. I know it might sound kind of super corny, but I do. Like however I wake up for the days, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do what I need to do. If I don't do anything, I don't do anything. But my goal is to make sure I leave something for my kids. That's my goal. Because everything, you don't take anything with you. I want to, like, I don't know. Most people will be like, oh, my goal is to have a house, to have a business, to have cars. I have all of that. Thank God. My goal is to continue to be able to have all of that and leave for my kids. Even though my 21-year-old, he's old enough, but I don't want to, I don't know. I don't want them to super suffer when I'm gone. I want to be able to live older. So I don't leave my child when he's a baby still. I want him to at least be like in his 30s, 40s. So that's my goal, to fucking live a little longer.
We asked the supporters if they had any questions from the indicted page, so we're going to ask a few. What's it like raising kids in two different generations?
I feel like raising a child is the same way no matter what generation you're in, because you're still your child and you still have to say no. You still have to can't do this. You should work through it this way. You still have to teach them manners. It doesn't matter what generation you're in. It's what matters is the inside of your house and how you discipline your children to become good men or women. Obviously, technology is like major now, and it's like, here, Cupid, here's the iPad. But I can't have them on the iPad all day. I feel like, that's the only difference. It's technology.
I feel it. How do you balance being a mom and doing what you do for Indicted and now this, I guess?
I just have to I just have to make sure I work with you with communicating our schedules and what you have going on, because um, I don't really have a hard time balancing this with me being a mom, because I like to film in the mornings when my child is at school. I feel what's harder balancing and things like that is me and you, your schedule, because you have so much on your plate. That's kind of like the harder part in my life.
Um, how do you manage, or how did you manage not to have an institutionalized mentality?
Hmm. I kind of feel like institutionalized mentality is just kind of programming and being routinish. I feel like I'm very routinish. I have to have my routine. So if maybe that's institutionalized, I don't know, but that helped me have it. Like I like to be structured. Structure works for me. I can't be like, oh, let's get up and do this. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. I like to know what I'm doing when I'm doing it, because then I'm a mess. And that's how I balance myself. I think one of the persons asked, I think one of my followers unindicted asked, how do I deal with that? Like managing time when I have to, like, sometimes like rappers want to come on my channel and things like that. They got to work on my time, because that's how I keep myself balanced. I don't work from like a spur of the moment. I could, but do I like to? No. I don't like that. I'm very bam, 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 bam. If it's not like that, then I'm not doing it, because I don't like to feel overwhelmed and stressed. And I'm a mom, so I got to drop them off, pick them up, cook, clean, do laundry, wash dishes, do it all over again. So I like to film in the mornings, and that's my schedule to work. I mean, right now he's still in TK, so I only have like a few hours in the morning. But once he starts like first grade, I'll have my whole morning and afternoon. So I feel like it'll be easier for me to get more interviews in and things like that. But I feel like it works for me.
Got it. What's your favorite food?
I don't think I have favorite food, but I would say, I guess, Mexican food.
What are some hobbies you have, if any?
I know this is going to be bad, guys, but I don't think I have any hobbies. Um, I used to read a lot. I'm probably going to start picking it up again here and there when I could. At least I'm going to try to read a page or two a day. I just started. I'm going to start doing that again. But like hobbies, like I said it before in the beginning of the interview, I never played outside. I never did anything that was like kind of positive. I like to dance. I love to dance. I guess that's kind of like a hobby. Anytime I could dance, even at home. I like to sing. I'm not a professional, guys, but I feel like that's kind of like a hobby. If I have nobody's home and I like to sing, put my music on it, it definitely makes me feel good. So yeah, I don't think I have any freaking hobbies. I couldn't even pick up a hobby in prison.
I feel it. What's a typical day in the life for you? Let's say tomorrow. What's tomorrow going to be like for
Tomorrow
you?
is Friday. Well, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day at school. So I'm going to wake up at 6:30, use the restroom, make my coffee, pack Cupid's little lunch, because he likes to take a little lunch, like just little snacks. He starts school, drop him off, come home, sweep, dust, wash the dishes if there is any. I don't like to go to sleep with dirty dishes, so if whoever dirties dishes after that, then I'll do those. And I like to sit down for a little bit and I have a conversation with you most of the time when you get up, and I sit next to you and I drink a coffee. And then by that time, it's time for me to pick up Cupid. I pick up Cupid like at 12, come home, give him a snack. There's always stuff to do inside the house, clean dishes. Again, I got to cook lunch or dinner, get prepared, or go pick up Maryland. Tomorrow I'm going to volunteer in school, though, probably, because it's St. Patrick's Day. So I might go volunteer at school. So that's pretty much it. If I don't do that, then I can film as soon as I drop them off in the morning. And I'm done by the time I pick them up. So my schedule's kind of pretty tight. And I don't like to do anything after 6 o'clock, guys, unless I'm going out. I don't like to film because by then I'm already super drained from the day. My face doesn't look the same. Like after 6, 7 o'clock, I can't function. I'm like a viejita.
I feel it.
Do you?
Or not really, because I don't quit like you after a certain time.
Well, it's not that I quit. It's just like to tell myself like, nah, enough is enough for the day. You have tomorrow. And if you can't get to tomorrow, then obviously what you did today was worthless because you won't be there tomorrow.
I feel it. What else do you got for the people before we clock out here?
I hope you guys do like this channel. I'm going to be obviously just interviewing different people, but this is not a prison channel whatsoever. So it's just basically about life, what they've accomplished to be where they're at, how they handle their life, things like that. So I just really hope that you guys do enjoy this channel.
Fair enough. You know what it is. LA Eyekon, the color brown. Before us right here, we have Negra from Indicted TV. Expect to see, what guests do we have coming up soon?
So I'm going to get Linwood. I want to interview her, Linwood. I already spoke to her. I want to have Adam and Trino.
Who are those fools?
There are two guys in a relationship. They are very cool right now. They've been together for a very long time. They're TikTokers. Linwood is a TikToker as well. And I want to have Linwood because some people are kind of going to be like, well, what's so successful about her? She was able to get off drugs. What more successful is that? To get yourself back from the floor by yourself, get your kids back. That life is not easy, and she makes her living out of TikTok. She does what she does. That's successful. She doesn't have to get up and go make somebody else rich but herself, or whatever the TikToker people are.
Fire. All right.
I want to have you on.
As far as what?
You're a successful brown person. You've accomplished a lot of things in your life. I don't think you value what you've accomplished within yourself.
I feel it. We'll figure it out. See what's goodies.
Thanks for watching, you guys.
You know what it is.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.